this player has it. He's going to come with everything tonight, everything that you see at the next college level of a guy with big-time talent.
Well, they certainly have a lot of scorers on that squad, and Chris Henderson is right there, the 6'8" senior center, and he is one word: force.
When you say force, you mean tough. I watched him 2 weeks ago against Bedford at the Warrensburg Heights Regional, and Chris came with his big-time package inside, bouncing everything off the rim, following up strong, slamming home everything around the rim. He's going to come tough because he has...
Latest AP poll in the state, they come in at 20-4, and there's a look at Warren Harding under Steve Arnold. They are ranked 6th in the final AP poll of the state. Arnold, in his 6th year, brings a Harding team in at 22-1. Both of these teams can score in bunches. Warren Harding averages almost 80 points a game. Mentor's over 70 points a game. And it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. We talked about the regular season rematch these two teams went through, but that was without Joe Meyer, Mentor's top scorer. So Ben Pike getting ready to jump center with Damian Ergel. Ergel wins the tip, and Desmar Jackson has it in his hands as the Raiders will take the basketball.
Right
Inside, Chris Henderson powers up for 2.
Right off the bat, you see the athleticism of Warren Harding. They win the tip, and then they power it right down inside for the easy one.
Working the ball around the Raider defense. Pike with the handoff to Meyer. Fred Williams has come all the way out on him, the sophomore.
Mentor is in what's called a triangle offense right here. And what they're going to try to do is just, hold the ball out front, make those big guys extend, wait till one of them breaks down defensively, and then we're going to penetrate for a score or a kick out for a 3 from Mentor.
They are all the way out. Meyer with the head fake. Almost turned the ball over. Run down by Scott Branchick. Branchick looking for room, but Desmar Jackson got his hand in there, and they're coming back the other way. Up off the glass, no good, but there is Jackson on the follow.
One thing you'll see about Warren Harding, very athletic ball club. Guys can play all positions. They're very interchangeable in parts, and they look to get after it from beginning to end.
Jared Crow, sophomore, very young Mentor squad for Coach Bob Krasancic. One of the youngest squads that he has ever coached at the varsity level. And Crow fires a 3, can't get it to go. Rebound by Freddie Williams. Williams in transition, up off the glass. That's Shelton Brogden for 2.
Warren Harding team loves to get out in transition, and you'll see me later on in the night that they love to play above the rim, and they're going to do just that too.
6-0 lead for the Raiders. Brogden, a guy that can really light it up, averages over 20 points a game. Branchick's drive shut off. Here's Crow. Another 3 ball on the way. Couldn't get it to go. Damian Ergel comes down with a rebound. Here comes Freddie Williams on the drive. No good. Rebound, stick back, and the foul.
Well, I talked in the pregame, Mike. Key number 1, the Raiders like to rip it out and run, and we're seeing that. Here you go. It's one of the fast break finishes. They've had 3 of them so far. There's the putback. They like to rip it out and run, and you see that's going. The Cardinals have not controlled the tempo. They've got some good looks, but haven't knocked them down. The third thing is, though, these horses from the Raiders are just running it right down Mentor's throat. They've got to get this game under control right here on this possession.
There's a look at Coach Steve Arnold. Has done a fabulous job with his Raiders. They lost to Glen Oak in the district semis last season. Branchick, double team, shut off, gets it back to Meyer. Meyer going to fire up a 3. He's got it.
There we go.
Not the biggest guy in the world, but he can shoot lights out.
You don't get to this game by luck. You come out and play.
Jackson misfires on a 3. Meyer comes down with a rebound. Branchick starts it back the other way for Mentor.
I'm a little surprised at how much room they gave Meyer to shoot that one. Of course, he did not play against them a couple weeks ago. He was ill with the virus.
Early 9-3 lead. Mentor in the home white, red numbers. And the white, red, scarlet trim. And Ben Pike goes in and he's fouled.
Good move by the Cardinals and Mentor. Pike looking to get inside and slip along the baseline.
You watch the footwork here on this. He'll catch it, he'll pivot and rip the ball strong to his left and then explode up to the basket. He's a football player for that great Mentor program, but he shows he can play a little basketball, too.
Shows some nice touch there, the 65% free throw shooter. And this is a coach I love, Bob Krasancic. That cup of water will stay in his hand for the entire time. Jerry Tarkanian had the towel, and Coach K has the cup of water. He's been doing it for 15 years, and I asked him one time, why do you carry the cup of water? He said, just have it, Mike. That's all it is. Just have it.
Keeping the vocal cords wet as he lays into the players in a 32-minute time period.
And he will get excited, and that water won't spill. It's amazing. Sometimes I wonder if there's actually water in there. Couple of misses. Ball kept alive. Pass inside. They wanted Jackson. Couldn't get it go. Broken up by Branchick. Meyer going to slow things down. Gets it into the hands of Jaron Crow. Into the hands of Cole Krasancic.
It's amazing how young these kids are for Menor. There's not a senior. Well, the only senior out there on the floor is Meyer. But they've got a freshman, a sophomore at the point guard, 2 juniors, and a senior. They're a young team.
Damian Ergo with the rebound, and Coach K had talked about that. He said, I didn't expect him to be here this year. And there is the hammer down from Chris Henderson.
There they are playing above the rim. And for those that can't see, Desmar Jackson, the point guard for Warren Harding, is 6'4", but he's one of the nation's top prospects.
How about the touch there by Joey Meyer with the right hand amongst the trees?
I don't know that he ever scores in there. It's usually just a 3-point barrage. But that's a great thing to see him be able to mix his game up and keep these guys off balance so they can't just guard the 3.
All right, timeout on the floor. 3:51 left to go in the opening quarter of basketball. Warren Harding on top by 5. Basketball team. There's a look at the rim rockers. Chris Henderson leading the way with 43 dunks, and he picked up number 43 very early here in the first quarter as you take another look. And it's courtesy of Desmar Jackson, and there it goes.
I told you they love to play above the rim, and Warren Hard's going to look to push at every opportunity.
Some kids don't get 43 scores in a whole season. He gets 43 dunks.
Good point. Jaron Crow across the timeline, and Menor down by 5 after the timeout.
Menor's changing up their look offensively. They came out of the timeout with the set. Now they're into what's called an open post motion. Pass and cut hard. Be patient, penetrate, and pitch for the 3 if you can.
One thing you'll see from Harding is that they will stay man-to-man most of the time unless they get in foul trouble.
Having problems finding holes in that Warren Harding defense right now.
Again, the second key to the game tonight, the Cardinals controlling the tempo. They don't want to get into a running game with Harding, and you see it right here. There's the layup.
Nice pass, and that will count as Damian Ergo went up, got the goaltending call. That was a great pass, and they got the back screen to Ben Pike, so patience paid off.
Good movement by Menor Cardinals right here. Here it is, bounce pass to Pike. He looks to finish and does just that. Menor has to continue to play its style of game, set the tempo, make Warren Harding attempt to play the style that they want them to play.
You know, Princeton used to run that old backdoor offense, and that's a little bit of what Menor was trying to do there. Be patient, cut back door, wait for a breakdown, and exploit it for a layup. And again, that's what Menor has to do all night for 4 quarters, not just 2.
Branchick took it away from Damian Ergo as they were looking to go down on the post. Throw, and then dish. Here's Branchick. He sends it outside. 3 ball on the way, in and out. Rebound by Pike. Couldn't get the stick back, and it's going to go the other way. Avery Qualls has just checked in. That's Shelton Brogden for 2 more.
Every time they get it, they're going to try to push it down the pipe, and you saw it just happen just there. The other thing, Chris Henderson fills the lane for them very well as the center, running the floor, looking to finish and follow up anything that comes off that rim.
3 ball is good for Jaron Crow.
That is a terrific shot for him because he missed his first 2, and most kids, their tendency is you miss your first 2 shots in a game, you're going to hesitate. He didn't hesitate at all, and he drained it, and that's why he's a sophomore leading this team into the regionals.
So after going down by 8 early, it's been a nice 11-5 run for the Cardinals to get back into within 2. Minute and a half left to go. Kick out. Crow Out top, this is Daniel Hammonds for three. Pike battling underneath, couldn't handle it. Freddie Williams comes away with it for Harding. Nice dish, up off the glass, no good. Rebound, Branchick. Branchick thought about it, got it to Pike. Sutter step, back out to Branchick, fires for three, and it's rimmed in and out.
I don't know if you want a steady diet of that all game long, because right now it's attempting to be one and done for Minner. Warren Harding's cleaned up everything and then looking to push down the other end and convert with some inside the paint.
Chris Henderson, the 6'8 senior. Two more.
Traditionally, what Coach Krasancic has done with his program is they either want a three-point shot or they want a layup, and they will shoot 20, sometimes 33s in a game. So we will continue to see that.
Very good three-point shooting team. Everybody on his squad, he having it down! Chris Henderson says, get out of my way! The lane's open for number 21.
I'm not going to tell you again, anything around that rim that comes off, he's going to finish it.
And again, the He-Man shows up against the Cardinal kids right there.
17-11.
10 seconds, last shot here.
Trying to get something going from Meyer. Branchick with the basketball, 4. Branchick fires it up, no good. Rebound, goes off of Damian Ergel and out of bounds. And the quarter comes to an end. Warren Harding riding the air-nacity of Chris Henderson. Henderson flying to the hoop and getting it done with dunks 43 and 44. Warren Harding up by 6 after 1 at the Holstein Center. The exclusive online home of the OHSAA State Tournament. Log on for complete coverage, including live video and audio webcasts of the girls and boys basketball Final Fours, March 6th to the 8th and March 13th to 15th, only on OhioHSSports.com. Back for the second quarter, 17-11. Warren Harding on top. Substitutions on both sides of the basketball. Mike Johannick, the senior, has checked in, and Elijah Jordan has checked in for Harding.
Mike, you mentioned that girls' championships coming up this weekend, and I want to recognize, I'm very proud, my daughter was named third team All-State today, and her name is Tiana Vianchik. She played at Villa Angela St. Joe. I just want to say, honey, I love you, and I'm very proud of you.
And congratulations to her, and congratulations to St. Joe's as they were a winner in overtime in Canton. Beat the Smithies of Smithville as they hung on to play another day. As
we were talking earlier, there are so many great teams, great coaches, and different styles of play throughout the state of Ohio. You don't really know about a team named Smithville until they take a team like Villa Angela St. Joe to overtime. That's the beauty of the state tournament in Ohio. If you've never been there, you have to get down.
Well, Smithville's a very proud sports town, I can tell you that. I've been there when they were in the football state playoffs, and now they're back for basketball.
You got
foul underneath.
You have Desmar Jackson looking to initiate the offense and then run to the post. He's got a size differential being 6'4". Just got called for the offensive foul. Here he is, lowering his shoulder right here. Obviously,
you have to give the little sophomore point guard credit. You know, he almost got his face busted up, but he stood in there and took the hit. You know, his dad was a his grandfather was a longtime head coach at East Lake North High School, a tremendous coach. And his uncle was also the head coach at Mayfield, so he comes from a long basketball tradition, the Crow family.
Only 3 team fouls between the two. Jackson reached in, and Elijah Jordan with the basketball, off of the steal. Jackson working on Branchick, going baseline, short, and that's going to go against Warren Harding. Elijah Jordan going to get called for the foul.
That's Desmar Jackson in second.
Now, Brad, you know a whole lot more about that low post play than I did. I was more of a wingman, but when you're a post and you've got the advantage, sometimes it seems you have to be a little more patient. Don't rush it, especially if you have the size advantage. The shot will come, or you'll be able to make a good pass out of it. But it seems like Harding is trying just to muscle their way down a little too soon.
Yeah, they're looking to overpower. It should just come naturally. Play within the flow of the game, and all that opens up for yourself.
3 ball on the way, and it is down and in for Avery Qualls.
And the one thing about Harding, they're not going to stop. They're going to play the same way 32 minutes. They're going to keep pushing, keep looking for their opportunity. What Minner has to do is find its rhythm and find a way to get back into the ball game.
Here's Cole Krasancic for three, and that goes up off top, out of bounds. 9-point lead for Warren Harding.
I was telling Pat earlier, you know, if you consistently sit on a diet of long-range shots and everything doesn't go for you, it just can open up a bigger lead for your opponent. So hopefully there's something that get going for the Cardinals soon.
Freddie Williams with the basketball. 6:15 left to go. Game number 2. Mike Harris, Brad Seller, Pat Bianchik. As Chris Henderson gets inside for 2 more, and I think that's there all day, fellas.
That young man is tough. He is tough. He is physical. And at the high school level, it's very hard for teams that are matched to actually match up with that. So they're going to have their hands full of checking on Mr. Henderson tonight.
Henderson has 10 and the Raiders 22 to start here.
Coach Arnold obviously has a game plan that they want to just keep using their size advantage and just ram it down Menner's throat. And they're going to keep going down there until Menner can prove they can stop it. So far, they haven't been able to.
Meyer looking to drive on the baseline, couldn't get it to go. Henderson comes down with a rebound. Hard to believe Chris Henderson hasn't made a decision on college yet. He's a good-looking, athletic 6'8" senior, I can tell you that.
Every time I've seen him, he has caused havoc inside for somebody. What you see, though, is Minner continuing to play. I mean, like I said, there's a reason why they're in the regional semifinals. Obviously, it isn't due to luck. It's due to being a very good ball club.
Well, they fought through the screen that time, but they got the foul out front. They have to do a better job of talking on the back screen. They're going to hit the wing, back screen for that time they ran a UCLA cut.
And Freddie Williams gets in for 2.
I've got to imagine at some point in time, Minner has to go zone because they just can't stay with this man-to-man.
13-point lead for Warren Harding. 24-11, under 5 minutes to go.
Harding is running what's called the UCLA offense with some wrinkles to get the ball inside against Menner, and they just know they have the advantage. They're just going to keep wearing them down, forcing them down the throat.
And the Harding fans like the defense that they're seeing from the Raiders. Right down the lane is Crow, and he got fouled.
One thing you'll see from Harding is that they play a very interchangeable style, and everybody can switch. You'll see here, Minner has a chance to get to the hoop, and what looks open doesn't really end up open at the end. There's someone always there to challenge the shot.
Elijah Jordan there to challenge it. And Jaron Crow knocks down his first of 2, 66% free throw shooter. And we started to talk about the age of this Menor Cardinal team. Coach K had said one of the youngest varsity squads he's ever coached. And if you look down at the faces of some of these kids, with one senior in your starting lineup, 2 more coming off the bench, it's a very, very young squad, and your backcourt is a freshman and a sophomore.
That's a statement for you, because typically you don't get to these late games with a very young backcourt. I think there are big things and brighter things ahead for Minor. By no stretch of the imagination out of this game, just trying to, like I said, trying to find their rhythm to get back into it.
Shelton Brogden for 2.
And
26-12.
And going back to the Warren Harding, you're absolutely right. The youth of Menor is going to continue to be a factor unless somebody takes over. But that time, Harding posted up, they're 3-man. So they're posting up their 3s, their 4s, their 5s, their 1s, their 2s. They have a size advantage at every position.
About 3:52 left to go here in the first half. Warren Harding is in control, 26-12. And that's in large part to their 6'8" senior center, Chris Henderson. The Raiders tough here in the first half. On to face St. Ed's in the final on Saturday here at the Wolstein Center.
Should be a very interesting ball game. St. Ed is sitting back now. I'm sure scouting both teams, trying to prepare for both games in a real short period of time. But the thing we have in front of us tonight is that Minor's got to find a way to get back in this ball game. 3 minutes and 52 seconds left to go down 14.
They are down 14 points. And as Brad said, they've got to find a way to get back in it. Right now, the size and speed of the Raiders is taking its toll. Branchick, 3-ball, short. Rebound Brogden.
And that is not Scott Branchick's game. He is at his best when he is attacking off the dribble. I think he's looking for the three a little bit too much, but I've also noticed that Harding's scouting report has him scouted not to let him go right. And it's obvious he doesn't feel real comfortable out there.
Ergel going to get called for the charge as Pike was in position.
What you have here is that Warren Harding continues to push it inside. Ergel's looking for the ball inside. Great defensive position by the Menor team right here to draw the foul. Looking for a ray of hope here.
That's his first. Team foul number 5. Darren Crow looking for Pike on the back door and a little give and go.
You know what I liked about that, Mike? They actually try to get to the basket. You want to see him get to the hoop. Stay away from the long-range jumper so far. Get yourself going to the hoop. If you got to get him in foul trouble, some free throws sometimes can get you back going.
Well, you just look at Henderson out there guarding little Krasancic, and I mean, it looks like a man versus a boy out there. And they're going to have to really hit shots to get back in this one against these big athletes.
Under 3 minutes left to go.
And you see how hard they're playing up on, they're playing so hard up on Scott Branchick's left hand.
Henderson eases his way in for 2 more.
Anytime you get him around the rim, looking to finish. But, you know, I want to see Menor keep kicking and probing. Try to get inside the paint. Try to get down the lane.
Rebound margins you're taking a look at. Controlled by the bigs of the Raiders. Up 13-5 there. Branchick. Crow outside of Krasancic for 3. Short. Rebound Ergel. Freddie Williams. Here it goes. Williams turns it over. 3-ball on the way. Short. Chris Henderson was calling for the old alley-oop coming down off the break. I thought it was going to happen.
He was calling for it. He was calling for it from half court.
I saw my man Brad Sellers set up, and see, you guys don't get to see this, but Brad sets up when he knows something's coming. And after working this season with him, I know when he sets up, I better be ready.
Yeah, because Mike know I'm going to lean into him. I can feel I'm going to have a flashback myself. I'm like, here it comes.
Brad will hold me back.
See how they're playing up on Branchick's right hand. They're forcing him to go left. He has to take that. If you take what the defense gives you, and right there he drew the foul.
Pat, you see what happens when you put pressure on a defensive player? Here it is. Pump fake, looking. I'm getting to the paint. I'm not going to be denied. And see what happens here. You get a foul.
Yes, he took what the defense gave him. They're forcing him left. You have to take it.
Off the block, but Krasancic came down with it. They tried to get it out ahead to Henderson. Branchick. And Ergel go after it. 3-ball for Branchick is short.
The other thing about it, if you do get inside, you know that you got a bunch of shot blockers there. You might want to pump fake a little bit to see if you can get them up in the air and draw one.
Ben Pike going to get called for his first personal. Next team foul for the Raiders will put them in the, will put Menor at the line. That's just the 4th team foul for the Cards.
Got a little trap situation going on by the Menor Cardinals, trying to change up the game a little bit.
Watch for Harding to throw over the top and then attack the basket. I don't think they'll set up for threes if they break this press. I think they'll attack for 2-on-1s and 3-on-1s and use that athleticism to finish at the hoop. Menor's in what's called a diamond extended man-to-man. They match up initially, then they double team out of it. And for many years, Krasancic has done this, but I think Harding's athleticism is a little bit too much. There's the 2-on-1, a 3-on-1 right there.
Brogden the dish to Henderson, and that's another easy 2. He is in for a big night right now.
Isn't it great when you got somebody that can finish on a break for you? As a point guard, all you got to do is get down there and you either create it for yourself or create it for your teammates. But you got guys on both sides that can finish for you.
He's got 14 here in the first half. Meyer checks back in. He's looking to get going. He fires away over Freddie Williams, no good. Williams out on the break. Here comes Freddie Williams to the rack. He's got 2 more.
The long-range jumpers, when they miss, they lead to long-range kick-out. Here it is. Menor's going to have to change it up, or this game will be over by halftime.
20-point lead. Menor with just 1 point this entire quarter. Down 32-12.
When you've never been here and you're facing a team as athletic as Harding, you just have to find somebody to step up. And right now, nobody can hit a shot. There's a beautiful pass and throw.
Well, if you can't get it done from the outside with a 2 of 16, you go inside. Daniel Hammond gets the 2, and then a turnover. Menor with the basketball. So with 9 seconds left to go, they're down by 18. What better way to go out in the half with some points?
Menor showing a little life here.
In a hand to Meyer, Freddie Williams came up with the steal. Got it in. 4 seconds left to go. Pull up for 3, and it rattles up. Stuck back and in by Elijah Jordan. And that's the way the first half comes to an end. Right now, it has been all Warren Harding.
This is a murder happening. I mean, right now you go to the locker room at halftime. I don't think it's anything the coach can draw up for you. Somebody on that team has got to decide that they're going to be here when the ball comes up in the second half.
Well, the Raider fans certainly are excited, and why not? Their team is going on all cylinders here tonight at the Wolstein Center. They've got a 20-point lead. We're at halftime of game number 2 here at the Wolstein Center. As he was in here, came over and said hello at halftime. Good luck to the Vikes as they are getting set to find out who they'll play in the Horizon League semifinals. 4:30 on Saturday. They win that one, and they're on to the championship on Tuesday night.
I couldn't be prouder to be a Viking sitting here watching this game, but it's great to see Coach Waters bring this program back to the way we had it back in the 80s. Terrific.
Raiders start with the basketball. Ergel is blocked underneath, and then has the ball go off him out of bounds, so the Cardinals will get the basketball.
What you saw out of the halftime session, Menor came out with a little physical with Warren Harding Raiders early on.
You like that, huh, Brad?
I do. When you're down 20, I don't think it's a play in the playbook that's going to bring you back.
Now,
Henderson's going to get called for the foul, went for the steal. And if that thing happened, I think the whole crowd would have stood up. I think Brad Sellers was starting to stand up the minute he saw that.
That's a little flashback. I like to see him when they play above the rim, especially at a young age.
Franchek tried to get through, and they said, I don't think so, as he was blocked by Desmar Jackson. Back the other way. There's Henderson ramming it home.
It's down 44, 45, 46, somewhere in that vicinity.
That would be 46. Jackson nearly came up with the steal. Cole Krasancic for 3, and he got it.
There we go. Maybe this might get Menor started.
right off the top, I'd say I'm happy to see Branchik come out and attack. First one got him. Well, here they go, right back at you.
18 points for Chris Henderson.
They're just so athletic.
Warren Harding is so hard to match up with because they can bring the ball from all positions, and then they got so many finishers around the basket.
Take a look at the defense, which turned into offense for the Raiders. Jackson gets a piece of the Branchik drive, and then it's Jackson on the other end. Nice ball movement to the big fella who sends it home.
Against most teams, that layup would go in for Branchik, but not against Warren Harding.
Got to get it going from outside the arc, the 3 of 18. Inside, Pike trying to go up strong. Off him and out of bounds.
This is going to be so tough for Menor to finish around there without trying to do some creativity around the basket. Head fakes, jump into somebody, put a body on them. But if you continue to go straight up, that just gives the shot blocker that much more of an opportunity to block shots.
Up top, it's Henderson, and he throws it down. They look great. They count as 2. But there's another one. He is putting on a highlight reel show here at the Wolstein Center.
When you have a player like that, Mike, what you have to do is try to always find him, always keep a body on him. The thing that helps him, he's physical. He's very physical when he goes going to the basket.
Take another look at this one.
Here it is. Here's the alley-oop. Nobody finding body. That's creating space. Chris Henderson has the ability. There's nobody even looking at him. And here it is.
Look who's back there. Look who's back there guarding the basket. It's little Cole Krasancic. And he just physically cannot match up back there. So if Menor doesn't contain them at the 90-foot mark, it's going to be layup and dunk city at the other end for the rest of the night.
You're looking at a flip of the game plan, and like I said, it's not a play in the playbook that can help you at this point in time. You got to have grit, determination from your guys, and dig down deep to make a stand for yourself.
In traffic, and Meyer got a piece of Damian Ergel. He completed both of his free throws. He's got 7. And then back the other way will be Ergel heading to the line. He's a 51% free throw shooter. He's already committed to North Carolina Greensboro.
Menor tried to switch up into a 1-3-1 that time. They realized they can't full court press, so they tried to go to a 1-3-1. And again, they just flash a big athlete in from the backside and post up, and they draw the foul. But as you said, Brad, Menor has to foul hard or do something physical to get back in that. And that time Meyer hacks him on the arm. They only got 1 out of it instead of 2.
Nothing against Menor, but I don't know how a lot of teams have been able to stay with Warren Harding. They committed 22-1, but when you got Jackson, who's a big guard, and you've got Henderson and Ergel down in the blocks, boy, I don't know with that speed and the athleticism and just how physical they are. I don't know how they're going to keep up with them.
Mike, I had a long conversation with Coach Arnold 2 weeks ago at Warrensburg, and he told me that the problem with his team is that they're so talented that sometimes they try to flip the switch on and off, and at times they find themselves lulled to sleep by teams. In this case, it seems that the switch is on, and they've come to play.
Well, Mike Johannick has checked in as Coach Krasancic hoping to put a couple of his football players in there to kind of get things going. And Joey Meyer going to go to the free throw line where he has been almost automatic this year.
Again, take what the defense gives you. Get your body to the defender and attack these athletes. That's their own, again, Brad, going back to your point. You have to make plays. You have to be strong. And now we'll get 2 free throws for Menor, but they're going to have to bring a whole lot more of that in a short time to get back in this.
Raiders call a 30-second timeout. They're up 41-19.
You know, if Menor can get a little push here, get 10 up, get 10 on the board, got a chance to, make it a ball game.
Here's, again, Menor likes to shoot the 3, but they're just not going down, and they're turning. Harding's turning these into layups at the other end. They're getting it, they're going, and they're dunking, and they're laying it up. And, so now Menor's decided we're going to attack a little bit more, but they have to knock one down, like you saw little Krasancic do right there. They have to be able to knock some of those shots down, or Harding just rips it, and they run with it to the other end.
It's been a big part of their game plan all year, and if you look down the stats, and the 8, basically he goes 8 deep. They're all 3-point shooters. They all average anywhere between 35 and 45% from the 3-point arc. That's impressive for a team.
There's no question that when you play like that and you commit to a style like that, you've got to stay with it because there's no in-between. The only problem with that style is when the shots don't go, they can lead to huge blowouts, and that's where you are right now. So right now, hopefully, Menor can get a little track going with themselves and start to get untracked and get some threes to go for them, because they're going to continue to play that way to the end, I'm sure.
And Pat B has said that's just part of Coach K's offensive philosophy.
Yeah, he knows, he knows that he has to live and die with that, and he's ready to live and die with that. But when you're looking at every position where the guy that's guarding your guys are 3 inches taller with longer arms and more athleticism, it's just hard to beat. I mean, you just can't coach athleticism, but I got to say, Coach Arnold is not just coaching athletes. He has them in great positions to score. He has them in all the right positions. They're very well coached.
Pat, he's got great ball players. He's got guys that understand how to play this game.
That's right.
And what you're seeing is really nothing against the Menor team, but it's just men amongst boys.
Just by looking at that rebound right there on the missed free throw. Menor has to come up with that, but they just can't extend up high enough to do it.
Jackson on the drive, lost control of the ball, but then got it back. Out top, fired away for 3. Brogden short there, rebound underneath, and a stick back by Ergel.
Again, the length and the athleticism, they just reach over and get a couple quick rebounds, and they get 4 shots in 1 possession.
43-21, under 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And I told you that Warren is a very tough-minded ball club. These guys aren't backing down. They're being very tenacious tonight. Men are looking for an opportunity to crack a seam or two.
Branchick gets rejected by Ergel. Jackson comes down with a rebound. Jackson pushing. Lost control of the basketball, but got the foul.
Again, as you said, Brad, you have to attack and do something physical. Throw your body into somebody. Make the referee have to make a call. Scott Branchick is very frustrated right now. I can see him with his hands on his hips. He has to continue to do that, though, and maybe get a foul or maybe get a score, because Harding is just
Harding's having their way.
they're just having their way with
If they want it on a block, they get it on a block. If they want a three, they get a three. If they want a fast break, they get a fast break. Minner's going to have to show some team toughness and make a stand.
And that rebound just ripped away from Daniel Hammonds. Freddie Williams in transition, and that's up and good. And so right now, Warren Harding is just pouring it on. They're up 26.
And when I say make a stand, that doesn't, it's not really a physical stand. There's no way that Warren Harding dribbles the ball the full length of the court and gets to the basket without somebody stopping the ball.
Scott Branchick knocks down the three. There have not been a lot of those tonight for the Cardinals. And Jaron Crow knocks that one out of bounds. And a timeout on the floor. 3:31 left to go here in the third quarter. And it's the inside-out game of the Raiders. And they are in control here in this semifinal, 47-24. And then the second session begins at 5 with the Division III championship game, and it's all followed up by the showcase game, the Division I Girls Championship at 8:30. All of those live here on Sports Time Ohio.
Have either of you guys ever seen Shea Selby play?
Oh yeah, I've seen her play.
She is one of the best female athletes I've ever seen. And obviously Coach Dios has had a few, but she is exciting.
The Royals are down there. Congratulations to him. Inside, Henderson powers his way up. One of his rare misses, and a nice rebound by Ben Pike. Rebounds have not been in Mentor's favor. They've been out-rebounded 29-11 here in this basketball game. And that height has really wreaked its havoc. Daniel Hammonds, three from the wing, no good.
Again, Mentor continues to get just one shot before Harding's able to track it down.
Chris Henderson turned. You could hear the fans groan. They wanted a travel call, but they'll get the foul call instead. So Henderson will go to the line and shoot two. Averaging 13 points, 8 rebounds a game. As you take another look, watch the pivot foot. That's what they were talking about. Maybe one too many steps, but gets the foul instead. So he puts that up and down. He's got 21 points here this evening. You know, 64% free throw shooter.
When you play like that and play above the rim, people not really watching the travel. They're looking to see how you finish up top because you've done it so well tonight. But you know what? I got to admit that Mentor has come out and they've tried to scrap. They've tried to get themselves back into the game. Not with a great deal of success, but they have not given up. They continue to play hard.
Well, Coach Brzancic has won numerous Lake Erie League championships, and his kids will not quit. It's not in their makeup, and it's certainly not in his. I don't care what the final tally will be here. These kids will keep playing hard.
Jackson dumped it off for Elijah Jordan, and he's fouled going to the basket. That'll be the 15th foul on Mentor. And what a night so far for Chris Henderson. 22 points, number 21. And I'm sure he saw that first game. And he was saying, you know what, I wouldn't mind getting my name in the record book as well. As you see, Jordan fouled to go to the line, misses the first. He's a 50% free throw shooter.
Mike, talk about Desmar Jackson. What a luxury to have a 6'4", 6'5" point guard at this level. At any level.
Yeah, at any level. Take it in college, too.
I had to retool that.
You missed two. Branchick, wide open. One of the few times that lane's been open, and he uses it.
Good way to take it to the basket.
We give these Cardinals a lot of credit.
Keep scrapping.
Keep on coming.
Coach Arnold has made a few subs. He's got a few guys in that weren't in earlier. And I think they just had a matchup miscommunication that time. They didn't get the right matchups, and that's why things open up for Branchick.
You know, when you're down 23, you got to look for steals, opportunities, fouls, anything something to give you a break to get back into the game.
Next Menor foul will put the Raiders at the line. Mike Johannick checking in along with Cole Krasancic. Ben Pike will check out.
You know,
And Branchick better check out. They're going to have 6 guys on the floor, but maybe not even 6 would be able to stop the Raiders at this point. But if you can sneak them in, Coach.
you know, you're looking for a ray of hope here. The other thing is that, you know, we've been around this game for a long time. Things can happen. You can get back into a game when you think you're all out of the game. Just a pin under the ball bounces your way. Right now, in that on exchange, Menor was still scrapping.
How about the rejection by Daniel Hammonds? The 6'3" forward for the Cards.
I think he was listening to Brad.
Take another look.
He blocks one, and then he almost blocks the second one.
Got
one.
Got Quails.
Showing that he has some athleticism out there, too. And the great thing is he's not backing down. He's going right at these guys.
No need to back down. You come this far, had a great season. Yeah, you had a great chance to advance. You still got to play it out to the end.
Coach Krasancic admitted that his team is here a little bit earlier than he would have imagined. At 20-4, and they finished 13th in the final state poll. With all their youth, that's a sign of hopefully good things to come.
Definitely the table is set for the next couple years.
Foul down on the other end.
But you know what I like to see here? Menor's down, they're not settling for threes. They're going to the basket here, trying to get to the 5, create some opportunities for themselves.
There's a look at the tournament trail for the Cards. Started out in the Euclid District. Wins over Eastlake North, Collinwood, and Brush. And then in the Cleveland Regional, a big win the other night over Glenville.
Well,
Glenville was the number 1 seed.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago. That district out at Warrensville was so tough. And I have to say, I think it was tougher than the Euclid District. That it shows up here. You know, Menor did not see, even though Glenville very strong and athletic, they're not as good, they're not as strong and athletic as Warren Harding, and you see a big difference out here tonight.
Jackson fired the pass to Elijah Jordan. He said, "What's going on? Why didn't you catch that?"
It was all in stride too. That was a beautiful pass.
One of the few turnovers we've seen tonight.
Yeah.
50-27. Coming up on a minute and a half left here in the third quarter.
Both teams stay scrappy. Look what Warren's coming in with Ergel, coming back.
Branchick on the way for 3. Rims out. Rebound Johannick.
Coming back with Fred Williams. Harding keeps coming with players. They keep coming with players.
Branchick is fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And this is what Scott Branchick does so well, is get to the basket and score. But when he's gotten there tonight, that's the one or second, maybe the second time I've seen them let him go right. But once he's gotten there, he's either gotten rejected or drawn a foul. They have not let him finish at the basket all night long.
59% free throw shooter, misses a first. We'll see Damian Ergel checking back in along with Freddie Williams. 1:15 left to go. And all Warren Harding since early on. Menor made a run to close early in the first quarter, but since then it's been all Raiders.
Yeah, it really has. They came out with a determined look. And, you know, Pat is exactly right. That Warrensville sectional and district is so tough. With so many good teams, it preps you for a game like this. So, you know, it's really another level that they're playing at when they come into the tournament.
So the hustle by Scott Branchick turns into his 4th personal foul.
This Warren Harding team, I have to believe, can match up with any team in the state of Ohio. And if this thing keeps going in the same direction it's been going, it looks like Warren Harding will be playing St. Ed's. What a terrific game that'll be. Everybody in Cleveland ought to get down here Saturday night to watch that one, because that will be a great matchup.
Coming up on a minute left, Branchick on the crossover. Branchick has really been physical here in this third quarter, and he gets 2 more points for that. Give him 8 on the night.
Mike, yeah, they're still scrapping. I mean, right now as a coach, I'm not really looking to what the final score is. You just talked about how they're trying to build their program for the next couple of years. You want to see some grit and determination given off by your players, and I think they're exemplifying that in these last quarters.
Yeah, they look like they're waking up a little bit. You saw Mike Johannick with the hard foul, It's just, hopefully it's just not too late for Menor, but it's going to be hard to come back against this Warren Harding team down 20.
They're down 20. Johannick, another football player on that squad, along with Ben Pike. Pike a junior, Johannick a senior. As Freddie Williams bends, fires, and Johannick's got the rebound. So under a minute to go, they push it up to Cole Krasancic. Thought about the three, dropped it off for Jaron Crow, and that's right on line. And then a timeout is called by Coach K with 37 seconds left to go.
Hey, I've been in this game long enough to know strange things can happen. You're down 17. You know, they get another bucket, cut it to 15. No, you got a shot. Long shot, but you got a shot.
Yeah, I may have been premature on that matchup for Saturday. I certainly don't intend to be, but that was a terrific play. Menor looks like they're settling in a little bit here, but hopefully not too late for them.
Well, we showed you the rim rattlers, the rim rockers. How about the SWAT team for Warren Harding? And that is up to date, thanks to our great producer, Mike Atkinson. 71 blocks for Damian Ergel, Chris Henderson, and Desmar Jackson. There's the block, and
I don't think they give half blocks in the stat book, but it looked like two guys got that first one, and then this is what it results in, a dunk for Henderson at the other end.
You're right, Pat. No half block. And talk about dunks, moving up on the dunk charts, Damian Ergel.
What a nice setup by Desmar Jackson on the drop-off.
19-point lead. Coming up on 20 seconds left to go, third quarter.
Excellent.
Jaron Crow on the drive got the roll. 52-35. 17 points.
Menor fans get to enjoy that young guy for another couple of years, as well as just about anybody on the roster.
Avery Qualls didn't get it to go, but he's fouled with 7 seconds left to go. Well, we saw in our first game, St. Ed's down by 13 going into the fourth quarter. Made the run, came up with 17 points.
Menor fans get to enjoy that young guy for another couple of years, as well as just about anybody on the roster.
Avery Qualls didn't get it to go, but he's fouled with 7 seconds left to go. Well, we saw in our first game, St. Ed's down by 13 going into the fourth quarter. Made the run, came up with the win. But right now, this may be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it's going to be a tougher road for Menor, but nothing is impossible in this world. They've come out, they've gotten their sea legs behind them. They're now firm footing on the ground and looking just to dig down on this lead as much as they can.
Avery Qualls with 4 points, 69% free throw shooter, Cairns number 5. And it's back up to a 54-35 lead. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, shot goes, and that's the way the third quarter will come to an end. So Warren Harding, the Raiders, the number 6 team in the state of Ohio at 22-1, are out and in control, up by 19, heading into the fourth quarter here at the Wolstein Center. Sellers and Pat Bianchik, and our second of 2 live semifinal games from the Wolstein Center. The winner of this game gets the winner of game 1 as St. Ed's, in an exciting finish, overcame a 13-point deficit. And a 3-ball can by Cole Krasancic to advance to Saturday night's championship game here at the Wolstein Center.
They're scrapping.
Another turnover.
They're scrapping. There he is under the basket.
Pike had it and then rejected.
Took too long. Took too long.
And then another block. Back-to-back blocks. As Pike mishandled the basketball, that's just what the Raiders needed to get back. Henderson misses the putback. Pike goes for it out of bounds into the hands of Desmar Jackson off the save.
Great push by Menor. Had an easy opportunity underneath, but just too late recognizing that they had an open man under the basket.
Henderson. Oh my goodness. 24 points for Chris Henderson. 3-ball on the way. Good. Cole Krasancic starting to find his range.
Oh, the big fella sent it home, didn't he?
Who was the big lefty from UNLV a few years ago? About halfway in the lane. This is some athleticism. Oh, wow.
I haven't seen these kind of feature dunks since LeBron James played in the Division III championship. I mean, this is the King James, a la King James right here.
This is a big-time move. what you have here. He saw opening, said, I'm taking it with the left on this one. I mean, this is outstanding team.
Gary Waters may be putting together a sign sheet right now. He went back to his office when we saw him leave the building to go get a sheet.
He brought the letters of intent out.
Well, we saw Norris Cole standing over in the doorway. I think Waters has him posted up to hold these guys in the building for another 4 years.
Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one.
And a foul as Henderson was getting ready to load up, as Menor got to within 15 off of that timeout. Take another look. This is just as spectacular as it gets. And what a highlight really to put together for the 2 games we've had here on Sports Time Ohio. Coming right at you. I'll tell you what, I couldn't get up that high with a ladder.
And he can knock down free throws too. Look at this.
Yeah, we talked early in the game, before the game, that they play above the rim, and that's exactly what they're doing. Because right now, just Menor doesn't have the physical talent to match up with them on a man-to-man basis. If they advance and stay in the game and win the game, it'll be a little bit different on Saturday going against St. Edwards, just because of the size that St. Edwards brings to the table.
26 points for Chris Henderson. Krasancic has knocked down his last 2 threes. It's 58-41. We're just underway here in the 4th quarter. The second of 2. Jackson looking to see who he's got in transition, goes up himself and lays it in. You saw it with Shelton Brogden, was his wingman. If it was Chris Henderson, it was showtime.
He would have dropped it off. Now that young man can finish above the rim too. He's playing the floor generals game tonight.
Meyer gets it into Branchik, and here comes Desmar Jackson. Jackson goes right to the basket. And 4 quick points for him off turnovers. It's back up to a 21-point lead.
I mean, it's turning right now into showtime. Menor's got to stay strong.
Pike goes strong over Chris Henderson for 2.
Don't want to turn this into a laugher.
Pressure. Jackson top. And Henderson banks it home. 28 points.
They're doing everything they can now just because of the size differential that they have over Menor. Menor just keeps scrapping. You know, it is what it is.
Meyer, who's been quiet here in the second half, he's got just 9. They've done a good job on him. Nice dish by Krasancic underneath. Found Ben Pike and he's fouled. Chris Henderson gets the foul. Pike will go to the line.
You know what you'd like to see there, like on Pike had the ball on the left side of the basket. Use the rim to your advantage. Come up under the rim and bring it on the other side and make the shot blocker block it like that. Guaranteed he won't be able to get it.
Second personal foul, 7th team foul.
Brad, and Mike, it's a credit to these Menor kids. You almost feel like they should be down 40 because of how well Harding has played. But they are hanging in there, and they will battle these last 5 minutes out, without a doubt.
Daniel Hammonds is checked in for Coach K, as Pike has 1 more. And the 65% free throw shooter splits them as Mike Johannick will check in. So 1 football player checks in for another. 5:18 left to go, 20-point lead for the Raiders.
And it's good to see kids playing both sports, too. You know, so many kids nowadays specialize in just one sport. It's good to see guys like Johannick and Pike playing both. There is a carryover, I believe, in terms of your overall athletic performance if you can play more than one sport. I give them a lot of credit because that's a heck of a commitment to make as a young person.
Both teams in a bonus situation now. Double bonus will put Harding at the line for 2. That's Shelton Brogden, and he knocks down the first. 67% free throw shooter, averaging 20 points a game. As you take a look at Coach Steve Arnold in his 6th year at the helm of the Raiders, and what a year his team is having. A 22-1, 6th-ranked team in the state, and looking to move on to this regional final on Saturday. Ivan Chapik by Crow. He collects the foul as Menor keep going.
That machine is well oiled. The Warren Harding Raiders, have been prepping for this all season long. And only as you know, each game from here gets tougher.
You hear the war cry from the Raider faithful, a la Florida State.
Matt Freeman's checking in here.
Sophomore, 5'7" guard.
Very hard-nosed defender. And I'm sure Coach Krasancic sent him out there and said, get after it, young man.
Second one on the way, no good. Rebound by Ergel. Into the hands of Desmar Jackson. Coming up on 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Freeman rolls up the sleeves and goes to work on defense. Into Henderson, nice look underneath for Ergel. Reverse with the left hand is good.
Good inside, outside passing. High post flash, drop off to Ergel for a finish around the hoop.
Guys, I do not see many kinks in this Warren Harding armor.
It's very hard to in this type of game because of the mismatch problems that Miners have in matching up with Warren Harding. Like I said, I've seen a couple other games where it wasn't that easy for Warren Harding because they had a physical presence inside. I think you'll see that on Saturday, hoping that they continue to win this game. But I think you'll see that on Saturday when they go up against St. Ed's, that they're able to hang on and win this game.
Throw. Knocks down two for the 66% free throw shooter. And it's a 68-47 lead for the Raiders. Brogden going right up at Cole Krasancic. Over him, off the glass and in.
Now you had Henderson asking for the lob. And his teammate was like, nah, you had enough for today. I'm going to get one myself.
Throw short on the three. Desmar Jackson has got it. He goes right to the basket and lays it up and in.
That's exactly why he's one of the best young players, prospects in the country.
Krasancic step back three is good.
Not a bad shot for a freshman there.
Give him 12. And then the foul with 4:08 left to go. And Warren Harding right on their season totals. They average 79 points a game. They're at 72 right now. They give up 56. And Menner's at 50. So things going the Raiders' way here in this second game at the Wolstein Center. So Shelton Brogden's at the line, the 6'1" junior guard. Bends and fires. It's good. Substitutions. Avery Qualls will check in for the Raiders. Ben Pike, Scott Branchick, and Joey Meyer coming back in for Coach K.
Well, if Harding holds true to form here through the end of this game, St. Edwards will have their hands full on Saturday. They have the athletes, of course, to match up with Harding, but you know, you look at them, think about Elyria a little bit. They're definitely more athletic than Elyria, and maybe deeper, a little deeper. St. Ed's and Harding, that should be one of the premier matchups in the state of Ohio in this tournament.
Cole Krasancic has caught fire from beyond the arc here in the second half. Kick out. Pike for three. Ergel with the rebound. Chris Henderson ahead of the pack. Shelton Brogden with the right hand.
Speed and power. Speed and power to the hoop.
One of the things you'll see with Harding, when they close out on defense, they always close out on the shooter's shooting hand. So if you're a righty, they're going to come up with their left hand on you. They don't want to let Menner get the three. That's a strategy move, a little thing in the game, but some coaches teach it differently.
Henderson with the steal, and he goes coast to coast, lifts it up with the right hand. He's got 30 now on the night.
Well, here's the one thing that Coach Arnold has got to take into consideration now. You don't want to see anybody get hurt for the regional final matchup against St. Edwards on Saturday. They should be looking at, you see them now, making wholesale substitutions to kind of rest his guys and preserve them for the weekend.
And down on the other end, marked down another dunk for the 6'7" senior, Damian Ergel. Coming up 2.5 left to go. 80-53.
Oh!
And the three balls keep on falling for Cole Krasancic. He's got 15.
They may be overmatched tonight, but in a few years, as he keeps knocking those threes down, Menner will be a force to be reckoned with in this regional.
Foul before the shot. And with 2:15 left to go, Chris Henderson putting on the show. He's got 30, and his Raiders are up 80-56 here at the Wolstein Center.
soon.
Thank you, Al. Beginning April 1st, Sports Time Ohio 24/7 high definition. Catch all the Indians games in HD, along with All Bets Are Off with Bruce Drennan, the Tribe Report, Seed Up Ohio, Browns coverage, and more. 24/7 HD coverage of Ohio sports for Ohio sports fans here on Sports Time Ohio. That's what's left in our basketball game. Hope you've enjoyed our doubleheader from the Wolstein Center. St. Ed's a winner in game number 1. It looks like it'll be Ed's and Warren Harding on Saturday night here at the Wolstein Center.
Should make for a very interesting matchup on Saturday for both teams. All the marbles to get down to Columbus will be on the line.
A lot of changes coming in for Coach Arnold. Isaiah Henderson has checked in. Diedrich McCurdy and Willie McElroy all have checked in for Coach Arnold to play the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And that's Mike Dorsey. A lot of the sophomores are in now for Warren Harding.
Well, with 5,000 down here tonight, when the word gets out that Harding is playing St. Ed's here Saturday, this place will be packed.
McCurdy with the basketball. Under 2 minutes left to go here in this regional semifinal.
I have a suggestion, Mike. I think that all the fans should pay close attention to you guys for those girls' games, and then rush right on down here to see that big game between St. Ed's and Harding. How's that sound for a day full of basketball?
Absolutely. We'll be live all day Saturday, beginning at 10:30 when our coverage starts. Tip-off of our first Girls Championship game at 10:45. Mr. Sellers and I will be pretty busy on Saturday.
We'll be busy 4 straight games. The good thing about it is this, though. If you're a basketball fan and you love it, you love to see the guys play, you love to see the girls play, because they've got a lot of talent. You know, Pat talked about it earlier. The Gina Royals are looking to represent for the city of Cleveland. They're coming down in Columbus. They've got a great team, great players. Looking for them to show well as well. I'm also looking forward to seeing Afrocentric High School in Columbus.
Defending champs. Columbus Afrocentric had a chance to do their championship game last year. Minute 20 left to go. A lot of basketball here on Sports Time Ohio. Of course, also the state high school hockey championship coming up on Sunday here on Sports Time Ohio. So basketball all day Saturday, hockey for you on Sunday, and then we're back here with the boys semis next Thursday, Friday, championship day on Saturday.
No doubt. And Mike, we talked about it last week. This really is a special time for coaches and players down in Columbus, because it's like a big fraternity, and guys get to come out, swap stories, learn different coaching techniques. So it's more than just the finals being played. There's a whole lot of basketball knowledge being transferred amongst people in Columbus for the next 2 weekends.
Daniel Hammonds comes up with a three-pointer.
You know, as this game winds down, I want to recognize these seniors from Menor, particularly Joey Meyer, who has given the fans in Menor so much to cheer about. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, he came down with a severe viral infection and wasn't able to finish out some of the regular season games, and now they're coming off the floor here. But Joey Meyer and Daniel Hammonds and these guys have really given the fans at Menor so much to cheer for, and we want to wish them all the luck in their future endeavors as their season their career comes to a close here.
Dominic
I know
Wren
Coach
out there.
very appreciative.
Dominic Wren, Cameron Alicio, Matt Solden. See who else he's got out there. Get them all in. Dan Suba are all out there for Coach K. And Anthony Savelli. So he's gone to his bench. He's emptied out his bench, and for the final minute, they'll get a chance to play on the Wolstein Center floor in a regional semifinal. Three-pointer short for Dan Suba. And Warren Harding will be moving on as both coaches have emptied out their benches. And you know what? This is the beauty of high school basketball. You talk so much about March Madness. But when you get down to this level, it is all about the kids, and both coaches recognize how special it is to play here at the Wolstein Center and what this game means, and to empty his benches and to see all these kids get out a chance to play. It's a great feeling.
Class move by both coaches. You know, this is something you remember for the rest of your life. Yeah, I still remember how I got put out the high school tournament in 1981 on a half quarter to a team coached by Joe Lynch of Strongsville, who was at St. Peter Chanel at the time, on a half quarter by a person that, not by a person, but a team that we had beaten twice during the regular season. So I mean, that sticks with me for all the time since it happened.
You never forget that last loss in high school, because you have so much heart and so much heart into what you do. And but these Mentor kids, the good news for Mentor is they're young and they're good, and they've gotten great experience just being down here this year.
Cameron Alessio with the basket. He'll never forget that one, and that one in transition. Won't forget about that one either. As Jeff Johnson scores, and the final seconds have run off here at the Wolstein Center. Warren Harding is moving on. The Raider cheerleaders happy about that. They are on to the regional championship game here at the Wolstein Center on Saturday to face St. Ed's. What a basketball game that should be.
Be a great ball game. Two big, strong, physical teams looking to play and impose their wills upon one another.
Well, you know that both coaches are going to be watching film from now until game time Saturday, trying to figure out those matchups. But I'll tell you what, it is a very close matchup between Harding and St. Ed's. That'll be a terrific game.
88-61 the final. The Raiders of Warren Harding are moving on. We're going to take a timeout, send it back to the SDO update desk. That's where Al Pulowski is standing by with more. Final 88-61 Harding here on Sports Time Ohio.
Take a look at the Wolstein Center, where a couple of good Division I matchups we thought we had tonight. A great one for the first game. St. Ed's defeated Elyria in that one with a comeback victory, but here in the second one, well, it was all Harding, Jim.
Yeah, it's Chris Henderson.
Wolstein Center, Warren Harding moving on. They'll take on St. Ed's in the regional final here at the Wolstein Center on Saturday. 88-61 the final here with the Raiders head coach Steve Arnold. Coach, congratulations. Moving on to the next round. And let's start with that big fella down on the block, 6'8", senior Chris Henderson. What a show he put on here tonight.
Chris is capable of playing just how you saw him play tonight. He's capable of playing like that all the time. He's been our glue inside. He runs the floor extremely well, soft hands, finishes strong inside, and you know that's what we get out of Chris Henderson.
I think because they take a look at Chris Henderson, they look at Damian, they look at Desmar, they see those type of guys, but I don't think you guys get enough credit for the type of defense that your team has been able to play.
You know what, that's why we've been able to advance, because of our defense. We really wanted to, we concentrated this couple days on suffocating Mentor offensively. We wanted to contest every shot, make them work for everything that they were able to earn, make them earn everything. And we were able to get a hand up in their face. We really concentrated on those guys shooting over our lane, and they had a hard time. Once we extend, I mean, we're 6'4" on the perimeter, 6'2" on the perimeter, and once we extend and use our lane, we thought that they would have a hard time. We really played well defensively in the first half.
You knew you were going to have a size advantage coming in, and you certainly took advantage of it. You continued to just roll some big guys in there, but